It is the third Tuesday after Pentecost. Our reading today, 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verses 1 through the first part of verse 21. Now, have you ever gotten something out of the laundry fresh out of the dryer and it's finally clean and you put it on, and as soon as you sit down at the table or something else happens and you get something all over it? And it seems like all that effort in getting it cleaned was for nothing because it has to go straight back in the laundry. Or maybe you've been planting a garden and you have vegetables that are just coming ripe and just about to look perfect, just ready to be plucked and eaten, and then a bug gets part of one of them, and it seems like all your effort is ruined. That's kind of how Paul feels here in 1 Corinthians chapter 11, because he's worked with the Corinthian church. He's worked to present them spotless to Christ, that Christ is being worked and formed in them. And then some others have come along with a different message than Paul's, a different gospel, and have marred what he's been trying to do, have messed it up. He calls them sarcastically super apostles. And he's saying that he is just as good as the super apostles, even though he doesn't have the flowery speech that they have. He doesn't have the presentation that they have. But in fact, his knowledge is far greater than theirs, because for all of their rhetoric, for all of their projection, for all of their fancy speech, it's the content that matters. And the Corinthians are being swept away by the fancy preaching, by the great homiletics, or by the drama that some people might want to then call the anointing. But in fact, it's scrappy little Paul who doesn't speak very well, and he's the one with the knowledge that actually will bring them to Christ the way that they should be brought to Christ, spotless. And so he reminds the Corinthians of this, that they shouldn't be paying attention to these super apostles. They should in fact be listening to scrappy little Paul and the knowledge of Christ that he has, and how he's been using that knowledge to bring them and transform them to be perfect and spotless before Christ. So remember that when you listen to what someone has to say about the gospel, it's not in the presentation. It's not in the fancy homiletics. No, it's in the content, and that's what matters. So pay attention to the content. I want to encourage you with that word today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.